Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a Ford Bronco Badlands with a manual transmission. Before we begin this video though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the large Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this Bronco. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 7-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 17 on the highway because this has a 4.7 axle ratio. Power outputs are 300 horsepower and then 325 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood itself, notice how it slowly raises up towards the center. You've got the trail markers here on either side and the fixed mirrors there on the bodywork. Got the LED headlights here, and then we've got our white Bronco logo. And then I do like the bumper here at the bottom with the recovery points here. I think these look pretty sweet. It's like, that's cool how you can just like have them sticking out if you want. Now, the bumper itself, I mean, that's pretty sturdy. You got some fog light action there, parking sensors as well. Putting it all together, this just has like a classically beautiful look. It's definitely a clean design for the Bronco. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 285, 70, 17 in the front and over in the rear as well. So this is a non-Sasquatch package Badlands for those of you that are wondering. Love the wheel design though. But even though this is a non-Sasquatch, you still get the Bilstein position sensitive shocks. Really cool looking fender flares here. You guys can see Badlands logo, and then notice the door handles that actually match the mirror caps, and then you do have rock rail protection here. And then here is your full side view on this Bronco Badlands. I think the stance is perfection. So here's our key fob, Bronco logo there on the back, unlock, lock, pretty simple. And we've got, of course, the rear hatch here. So you always got to push it like multiple times to get it all the way open. And then you've got the glass because this one is a hard top. So good storage space, being the 4-door here. You guys can see the roll cage painted here in the back, which is pretty cool. 12 volt here in the back as well. But yeah, super practical, and you know, you just close it the same way that you open it. And this thing's always easier to close than it is to open, which is interesting. Got the upgraded taillights with this, and then you guys can see the spare 33 on the back. And then you got little recovery point there, and then this is hilarious. So plastic up top, but then you can see it not down below, so it's interesting. I'm sure that's to save weight on it, but anyways, that's the bump. Wrapping things up, I think this looks absolutely fantastic, especially with this blue paint. It's really cool. Now popping inside, you've got the gray trim, and then also down below with the padding, and then you guys can see here with little storage area. And you got the upgraded seats here. I like the orange stitching that goes throughout. I think that's a nice contrast to the blue. Legroom back here is really solid. We got more storage space right there. Got the window controls in the center with some charging ports. Stadium seating, so again, we're higher than the front seats, so we get a nice view. Taking a look at the front door panel here, same design as what you have in the rear, and then little padding right there. And then you guys can see with the mirrors, they do have blind spot monitoring. For those of you wondering, this has 1,044 pounds of payload capacity. And then here are the front seats. Got the Bronco horse there at the top, and then again with that orange stitching. The seat is manually adjustable. Speaking of manuals, you got the 3-pedal layout here, parking brake right there, and then you get your light controls, and then of course more of that orange here. Cyber orange to be exact is what it looks like. So here is the steering wheel. We've got really nice padding all around. So we've got some controls for the center stack. We do have adaptive cruise control with this, volume controls, you know, all the normal stuff, and then your regular stock there on the back. So here is the center gauge cluster setup. So you got the speed over there on the left side, and then here in the center you guys can see, got the screen which we can use to scroll through. It's different menus, see different bits of info here on the Bronco, systems within the Bronco itself. And then we do have our GOAT modes. So we got a normal with this, eco, slippery, mud ruts, sand, Baja, and then rock crawl. This thing can do it all. Now this one has the 360 camera, so you can see it at every single angle here with the Bronco, which is really cool. So this is what happens when you pop it in reverse, but if I just press the camera button, it'll pop on with the front camera with the different viewpoints, which is nice. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, shortcut bar here at the bottom, and then you got the side screen right here. So right now we have the off-road status, on, and larger display, pretty easy to use. Now you notice that we've got the stabilizer bar disconnect. That's a big thing here with the Badlands, and then front and rear lockers, stability control, hazard lights. No trail turn assist with the manual transmission. We've got analog controls here for the radio, climate zone as well. We've got heated seats, heated steering wheel, all that fun stuff, and some USB action. Drive line select here, so notice we have 2-wheel high, 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel low. You got your hill descent control with this. Obviously no off-road cruise control, and this is also the GOAT mode select. And, well, of course, the sunlight's shining on the top, but we've got the shifter here for the 7-speed manual. So when you're driving around town, it's actually a 6-speed manual, as you can see. The reason they call it 7-speed is because it has a crawl gear. So up and over, that is for reverse, and then up and down, that is for your crawl gear. Now you guys can actually see the gears there on the front. Of course, got a plaque here, and I like how the wireless phone charging pad's been moved here for the manual transmission. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, some cup holder action. Got some window controls here on center. All of them are automatic, which is nice. Mirror adjustments, and then center console. Pretty good setup. And then with the glove box, also a pretty good setup. It says Bronco there on the outside, which is sweet. Up top, we got 6 auxiliary switches, so you can add as many light bars as you want. And we got the hard top here. This one doesn't happen to have the insulation, but easy to take off the top itself here at the front with those little latches. So here's a winter sticker for this 2023 Bronco Badlands. This is a 334A equipment group for those of you that are wondering, mid-package, all that fun stuff. Some interesting things. Hard top, almost $2,000 for that as an option. This one also has the towing capability added to it as well. Anyways, after options, this one stickers for $59,210. And let's see how it drives. Talk about visibility before you set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors. You do have blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, manual transmission away. It's the second manual Bronco that I reviewed in like the last week. All of a sudden, we got these manual Broncos popping up, which is pretty cool because originally it well, Bronco came out in 21. It took me like over a year to find a manual transmission, and right off the bat. So it's cool that I'm able to find these so easily. In that video, I kind of focus more on the crawl gear that you can get with the manual. I'm not gonna do that too much in this video. I just want to focus on the Badlands driving dynamics. But I think it is cool tech. I've got a lot of crap from people because they're like, oh, that's been a thing forever. But it's like most vehicles, they integrate their crawl gear into their first gear, whereas this, it has a separate first gear and a separate crawl gear. And so you get like a usable first gear on road, and then you also have a crawl gear. It's just really cool. And if you ever have a chance to drive a Bronco manual, do first gear, do crawl, you'll actually feel the difference. And that's outside of low range, because you still have 4-wheel low. That's another thing that it seems like people got confused on, is they thought that yeah, there was something there. So it's, yeah, maybe I need to make another short to kind of address that. Rev matching with this is actually pretty dang easy. This is a really easy manual transmission to drive. I think that Ford has done a really good job with this whole setup, making it super drivable and everything. Good torque. This is so much better than a V6 Wrangler. It just, like, especially here at elevation, like, you just get so much torque. Like, that's the one downside about the manual Wrangler, is you can only get the manual Wrangler with, you know, what I consider at this point, although it's very reliable, their most lackluster powertrain. Whereas with the Bronco, this is technically the Bronco's quote-unquote most lackluster powertrain, but the 2.3 is a beast. So to sum things up, manual Badlands, this is a unicorn. These, I mean, this is the first one I've ever seen, to be honest. I think this is the one that everyone kind of like lusts after. So, because you get all the off-road stuff, you got the looks, and again, you got the manual transmission, so you can do it yourself. It's pretty cool. The one, like I said, the only downside that I can see with this is that you don't have trail turn assist. That's the only thing. But let me know what you guys think about this manual Badlands.